you say yes or should you say no? The gate of perseverance, gate 29 in human design in this weekly transit, or if you have it in your chart, really teaches us how we need to make sure that we are saying yes when we are able to fully commit and lean into whatever person, place, or thing we want to commit to. If you are new here, my name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader and mentor of 9.5 years teaching you how to make astrology and human design sustainable. And in these transit videos or in these gate videos, I talk about the weekly transit that we experience every week of the year, no matter the specific year that we go through, give or take a day. So this is 2025 as I'm making this series of videos. We always experience this transit in the mid to late August. So you'll always see it around this time wherever you are in the corner of your world, give or take a day. So without further ado, I'm going to get into reading from my favorite author, one of my favorite authors from Human Design. Writes in a fun kind of lyrical way, probably some Leo energy if I had to guess in his chart, although a projector, Chetan Parkin, about gate 29. He calls it the gate of commitment. So a Jim Carrey movie was released in 2008 called The Yes Man, in which the man challenged himself to say yes to everything life offered him over the course of the year. It could have been made with gate 29 in mind. Certainly, yes can open the doorway to all sorts of amazing things for you, but unlike Hollywood, a wholesale yes can find you overloaded, taken for granted, and thoroughly depleted without feeling fulfilled. Although he did get into that in the movie too. My experience of people with this attribute is that you can struggle to contain that indiscriminate yes to anything and everyone, regardless of troublesome outcomes. Can I borrow some money? Yes. Will you come over and mow my lawn while I watch TV? Yes. And while you're at it, will you let me spoil your day? Yes, 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 no problem. It's a lot of that energy of like, you can also find that people with this placement or during this week, people say yes. And if they don't realize why they're saying yes, they make you the bad guy, where it's like, okay, if there's people who know that like they should have been like, no, I can't ask you to do that. Or yeah, I know you want to help me, but let's scale it back. I know you want to create my prom dress, but maybe you can help me just find my corsage. You don't have to make my prom dress, but we could go shopping together if that makes you feel like you want to be included in the process. Good friends and good people in our life, good family members have good ways to teach us those boundaries with a graceful no, right? And being like, oh, I know you say that in the heat of the moment, but do you really want to say yes to that? That's something that's important for people with this gate placement, friends of people with this gate placement, all of us during this weekly transit. This arises from the predisposition to commit without any awareness, sacral instinct, of the commitment in hand. What your gut is telling you. I know people with this gate who forever overextend themselves, getting caught up in every flight of fancy that goes past them and ending up burned out and frustrated. And this well-intentioned but frustrating pattern is in danger of being repeated over and over almost mechanically. Mechanically means like without any thought. You're just like, yes, I am saying yes. That is what I'm saying yes to. And you don't even know what you're doing. It's like someone else said jump, you said how high, and you realize that you didn't even want to be jumping. Commitment becomes a gift when you say yes to the right things, but a potential curse when engaged without clarity, knowing what you're in it for. A great, if you're an ego or people who are an ego manifested or ego projected authority manifestors or projectors are going to have that, could have that in human design. You teach us like how to ask yourself like, well, what is my energy exchange? What am I getting out of this? Excuse me, and what's the point? Commitment becomes a gift when you say yes to the right things, but a potential curse when engaged without clarity. Remember, you are here for a yes that is genuine, in genuine alignment with your nature. As I flip ahead to the notes that I took for this week, I just wanted to walk through and have my notes in front of me because it creates a little bit more of a fluid take through all of these videos that I'm making for you guys and just kind of leaning into my Piscean channeling as I kind of tune into what needs to be said for these days, what I'm looking at the other transits, the things that are happening simultaneously, and how do we manifest and use this energy to manifest during this time? How do you manifest using these energies of your chart? So without all that being said, on the first day of this transit, or if you have gate 29 in the first line, this is known as the line of the draftee. I'm going to quote the specific line from the definitive book of human design that I wrote down. And it's the power to persevere when necessary, but not generally. So it's almost like capturing the lightning in the bottle. When you can persevere, you can do the thing, you can push to finish the mile, but maybe you're not a runner every single day. Maybe you prefer to walk. So it's like capturing the energy of the lightning in the bottle and saying like, okay, I know that I'm able to persevere. I know that I'm able to move forward, but maybe I don't always have this in me, right? It's like striking while the iron's hot, and that's okay. So knowing when to pick and choose your battles, when it's worth it to run and to fight and to move forward versus when it's appropriate to rest. That's the detrimented side of this placement. I said it's holding on to the past and having it hold you back. We were like, but remember that one time I ran a mile 5 years ago and I'm talking about all these great accomplishments. it's like pivoting it and saying like, I know that that's amazing and I'm so happy that you did that, but like, do you know that there's still so many good accomplishments available to you now and in the future, where that's just one of many, not the only accomplishment you're ever going to have. That's really important to pay attention to today. Second day of this transit, or if you have gate 29 in the second line, this is known as the line of assessment. And the little note that I wrote here is really, again, saying yes and wanting to persevere. This is where you actually have a little bit more clarity on what you're committing your energy to, and using your assertiveness, your assessment in the right way. And then the detrimented aspect I wrote was like being annoying and making a problem worse, where it's like, but what about this? And what about that? And like almost like, okay, when the goal here is saying yes with alignment, if we're constantly questioning and dissecting and being really meek and timid, it's like you're putting that energy there that's not only holding yourself back, but other people being like, oh, like I am drowning on this raft with you, because you're clinging to the side and won't just hop into the boat. It's like for whatever reason, you're not jumping into the raft and taking the life raft, and realizing that you do have arms and legs that are functioning, you can heal yourself over into the other side, right? It's like I have done what I have had to do as the helper to bring you the raft, to figure out how to get the raft to you, but you also have to be willing to use that alchemy and that exchange to haul yourself over, right? And then you can continue to work from there. So just making sure that the nail biting, any way that you can be contributing to that, but most importantly, how other people are kind of dulling your shine, Leo season still, really paying attention to that is going to be important this week. What's really important about these gate placements too is that they are in the critical, energetic, very late degrees of Leo. The last day of this transit is literally 0 degrees of Virgo. So this is where we see anyone who's born through this week is like really trying to figure out like how they want to commit themselves to something, and where we can start to see a little bit of that anxiety that comes with Virgo placements as well, if used in its not so great side. There's one thing to be obsessed about the details in a good way, but it's another to be like the nail biter that like can't make any moves and stays in analysis paralysis. Now, on the third day of this transit, or if you have gate 29 in the third line, this is the higher octave of the day before, and this is where we see people that are really looking to evaluate, right? Gate 3, or the third line in gate 29, is known as the line of evaluation. So it's sitting back, patience is a virtue, taking stock, not rushing anything on this day, rushing to get something out there. It's like not operating like this, but like, okay, I'm sitting back and I'm leaning back and I'm looking at everything going on around me from a vantage point that's safe, right? And I'm assessing what's going to be the next plan of attack. The detrimented note that I wrote here is watch out for being so cautious that you never commit to anything. That's where you can really be gripped in that analysis paralysis today, or just notice people who are like, oof, I'm not in that phase. I feel for them, pray for them, whatever you want to do to speak over them in a good, light aligned way. You could be you away from me. I always said that. I said that in my last video about gate 4, super important this day. If you have gate 29 in the fourth line, this is known as the energy of directness. And basically the exalted placement, or the good energy of this day that we want to lead into, is what do I actually need to do right now? I know I have 45 things on my to-do list, but when I think about where my feet are and I'm really assessing what's on the to-do list, what are the things that have to take priority today? Having a top 3 or a top 6 list of things that need to get done can help you, even if you want to add something that you do every single day, no matter what, to get yourself jump started and writing, like brush teeth, drink coffee. That can help you just get the momentum going today if you feel stuck. The detrimented aspect of this is kind of like an edgy leader who's like, I'm just doing this, like get away from me. Like this is what I'm doing. Like, can you see that I'm in the middle of doing something? Instead of having the graciousness of being direct. We can be kind and we can be direct about our boundaries with kindness versus always with a sort of agitation. Just noticing where people are going to be acting out of alignment today in that way, where it's like, okay, let me just take a deep breath and assert my boundary, even though this is something that I know I'm doing out of alignment. I can say that, put somebody respectfully in their place gracefully, and I don't have to be rude, because most times people don't even mean to be as edgy and manipulative, although there are still some people that are like that. They don't always know. It's just their own naivete, and that can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to be with rudeness again. Gate 29 in the fifth line, or if you have on the fifth day of this transit, is known as the line of overreaching. And basically the energy of this placement is really being a yes person, but these people can actually really like just being there for their people. It's kind of like the stay-at-home mom energy that loves to be able to just be there for her children. She's doing housework. She's at the service of her people because that's what feels good for her. Maybe an administrative assistant in an office that's there for the needs of people. She has certain things on her to-do list, or they have certain things on their to-do list for the day. They can do their admin work, and then in between are running and doing things for other people in the office to be the cog in the machine that really has to keep it well oiled to keep it going. People who like to be of service to other people, especially as we get closer to Virgo season, we can see that Virgo energy loving servitude. So paying attention to that's going to be important. Again, what do you want to say yes to, but what should you be saying no to? basically how you use this energy in the detrimented aspect of this day, but alchemizing it in a good way, not saying yes to things you should be saying no to, but giving yourself a little bit of buffer time and saying, okay, I know that if I'm somebody that say works at a car dealership and I have somebody that comes in, that's just looking to test drive cars, they don't really know what they want yet, but there's somebody who came in that I've been sitting with for 30 minutes, 3 hours, trying to talk about cars and we're almost wrapped up the deal. If someone comes in frantic and they're like, I want to test drive this car, just say, that's great. I'm helping this other person first. We're going to wrap up what we're doing here and then I'll tend to you. It's like taking a pause before you commit yourself, even though you want to say yes to that person and also be able to help them and serve them. It has to be in a way that's sustainable for all parties involved, especially you. Now, gate 29 in the sixth line is one of my favorites on the last day of this transit. It's known as the line of confusion. And what's funny about this placement is that it's confusing as to why things go so well for people. It's like that blind faith that equals blind luck, where it's like, I don't know how I'm going to go get all this stuff done that's on my to-do list, but I just know that it's going to work out. And then it always works out for these people. It's really leaning into that. I don't know how I'm going to get it done, but that's just getting done no matter what today. I'm going to make it work. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm not going to try to rush to release it to get it over with. That's an important thing to focus on today. That energy in mind is like, I'm hesitating because I'm so overwhelmed and I feel like I'm going to collapse. Have that moment, right? Alchemize that feeling, that little bit of fear, release that, and then move. It's go time. It's kind of, there's a brain training exercise that you can do where it's like, say you're having a hard time getting out of bed, for example, and you do a countdown and you say 3, 2, 1. And at the time you hit 1, you get up, right? Playing with the somatics of that energy and being willing to taking that energy a little bit more seriously today can be something that at least helps you for today, even if it doesn't help you every single day. That's why we have the energy transits for a reason. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm giving you a little quick drive-by crash course in what feels important for the week ahead, how to use these placements to your benefit and make them make sense for what your gifts are naturally in this lifetime. If you have any questions about how this affects your Human Design BodyGraph specifically, you can drop your comment in the comments below. And remember that every Wednesday and Thursday from 7:30 to about 9:30, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, I do live readings and I also talk all about human design and the transits of that moment. So thank you guys again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.